Map 2. TEC are, I think, favourites for winning this map at least. They've made a good choice. It's not really been an amazing map for TEC, I don't think, over... Like, I think they've played it like once. But Billy, they lost 13-3 to Tyloo, and then they lost last week to All Gamers. So it has to be better. Should be better. Bianchi's on the main controller, Levius is on Sky, so they brought in a controller player and they're having him play Initiator. And Bianchi, I imagine, must be IGLing from the controller role, so we'll see how that goes. But same comps for both sides, just different players for BLG in a different role. I think by champs, Brim here is replaced by Cove. Medal is going to be a good spike denial strat. Not as good as a Molly, though. Molly nade to delay it. Both of them together. Forces him through the TP. K-Knight's just like able to sort of walk in and get AC. We can also turn the game up a little bit as well, sorry. Yeah, BLG's execute working a little bit better here, but they're resetting and going back. Because they have the Viper lurking up to here, so I guess they're just trying to get in the manipulation of the map in early, which I kind of like. It's a statement more than anything.
王浩哲已经两个人顺时针转了个圈，对，套圈了已经。王浩哲绕了一圈，选择冲出赛道，回到2楼附近，马上要去守这个爆能器了。其实4打1对于 RB 来说，操作空间确实不大。他没有技能，只有一把正义，并且身上也是没有。
You sort of should expect that they're coming from CT at this point when you have YZ rotating all the way around.
先去打两个人，创造下收益，让自己的终极技能快速充能完毕吧。因为他这分哪怕打个1换1，他有2个能量球，啊，自己倒地也算是一个能量点的。哎，原点看到人了，漂亮，先抽到了小边。但是这分还有人从
Oh, sorry, rolls are different here too. Like RB's on the raise before.
这分打得非常聪明啊，标记打了3重骗。
So it might be different comps wise actually for TEC. I might be going blank though, because I know that he played a lot of Cypher on this map. Yeah, they changed their comp from winning against Wolves. Because they were running Raze, Sky, Brimstone, Viper, Cypher. Now they're running the Gecko. Have you, are you planning to buy a China team jersey? I would like to, but they're expensive and quite... I'm hoping that I'd get gifted one at this rate, but we'll see. Yeah, sorry, I got thrown off because the UI, when it has agent select, it highlights the new agents in like a yellow outline, if you remember it. And because nothing changed there, I was like, oh, they must be playing same as they did last time. Like, no, actually. I think what, it's just lock M on this. Abo actually on the initiator calling. Like, if this was something that they were doing more, put RB on the duelist and then Abo's more on the flex, I can get behind that.
小鹿 Game 手上只有把标配，所以他必须要先瞄准再开枪。
再下包，再来踩雷飞剑，架枪。小 K 打了2个之后，现在最后一个是绕后的，而这个位置就有一个便克在架，他是能够承受一发。
So both teams changed up a lot.
回头就一发。
What are you drinking? It's just one of those like Lucas said sport drinks. Like it's good because it's like, you know, just a bit of sugar. Streaming is like a lot of talking. Like, I have ADHD and I'm on like meds for it, so like having that to keep me hydrated is nice. Because if I have like a cup of tea, it's just too much caffeine and then I'm just like gagging like in an hour, like low on energy. Okay, Gecko Sky, both of them pushing together on Sand. As for setups, yeah, surely BLG you're expecting something because there's no like Sky Flash used for long. Just a lot of noise. Flash, put some aggression. I think the Brim picked up the orb, smoked this off. And AC now under a bit of pressure. All Vandals as well, so no spraying for the smoke here without giving yourself up a lot.
踩在了浴室，他被战术监控标到了。RB 他知道
RB
有可能只有小 K 一人。
pinged by the camera is still just provoking right now. Oh, and a Skydog as well to crunch on it. RB plays that so well. Satchels to try and stop the plant. He's spraying. Almost killed Bianc. Yosemites had to push the back of Lamps to try and get a bit more space. But the spike actually did get planted in the end. Smoke, and then allowing the wingman to defuse it. He's still sticking it. Little bro's going. Little bro's going. He's been stopped. But Abo hasn't, so he's fine. He can get the rest. Even a tiny bit of caffeine makes me feel horrible with meds, yeah. I think that was one of the main things of, like, because like, in 2022, I took, like, a pretty big break from casting and stuff, because, like, I'd only, like, recently started meds at that point, and I'd be sat there with, like, a heart rate of 115, just being, like, freaking out. So it's been a long process of learning what works for me and what I need to avoid. And I think one thing I've learned is, like, you can't, like, I don't really like intermittent fast, but I don't really eat breakfast because I'm never that hungry in the morning anyway. But you can't, like, take your meds in the morning and not eat. Because when you do eat later in the day, your body's just a chemical bomb at that point. How do you cope with the increased anxiety from the meds? I think a lot of it is just being aware of that's what they do. Because, like, you know, it's ADHD meds, it helps you with, like, focus. But when you start getting anxious about something, the meds then make you focus on the thing that makes you anxious more. And so it's just being aware of, like, me worrying about this is, like, part of the meds doing their job. Like, for me, I, like, would wear, like, a Apple Watch and stuff that would do my heart rate. But what I noticed is that my heart rate, when I can check my heart rate and I see it's high, it stays high. Like, now it's probably quite high, but I'm not worried about it, so I'm not making it worse. But also, yeah, like, working broadcast, even, like, watching games and focusing on what's happening, like, that takes a lot of, like, physical toll.
这分虽然这一局虽然没有狙到，但是已经知道了 AC 的位置。我又点到了小边，同样的自己被收掉。
Anyway, so far so good for BLG. These executes have been pretty solid. Good bounce back after losing with your bonus. Levius is not afraid to go fight.
这两个人不架在一起，这种残局是非常难打的。
This stuff so far.
这你两个人不走一块儿，不抱团进攻。
What's your dosage? 50 milligrams. It used to be 40, and then I tried 30 for a bit. I tried methylphenidate, which, like, I want to. I don't want to say it because it'll end up on Sliggy's channel, but that medication turned me into a see you next Tuesday. It turned me into an asshole. And I, like, fell out with people hard over that period because I was just a knobhead. So, tried that for a bit, didn't really work out. But also, I think the main thing that's been helping me is, like, I, like, go for, like, a 5-mile walk every morning. Like, today I didn't do it too much, but I, like, still, like, was out for, like, an hour.
但你 B2 楼和 A 小正面，你只能依靠为数不多的技能，或者说这种跳皮。
Like a couple of weeks ago, I watch partied China and then casted Polaris afterwards, and I noticed that I didn't leave the flat at all in the weekend, Saturday, Sunday, and I went mental.
照这么打的话，你手臂长，很容易打着打到1分钟左右，自己技能全没了。所以有盖可的存在嘛，盖可要去弥补 Lokem 这个斯凯的点位。暂停结束过后，体坛手上是没经济的。
No risk for addiction. Yeah, I think that's the when people sort of say, oh, you know, like especially when they hear, oh, it's methylphenidate and Dex, Liz Dex, amphetamine. So you fucking Breaking Bad was just taking those two drugs and putting them together, right? They just tail like meth and amphetamines and go, oh, it's bad. This is looking like another tech pause, so gives us a chance to talk about it. But I think the best way that I've seen it written, I think it was Dr. Russell Barkley that said it, like, the chances of being addicted to that medication is low, but also the mortality rate of not being medicated is so much higher for people with ADHD. Because they would get addicted to drinking and doing drugs and gambling and stuff. Eating bad, binge eating. Like, that was my biggest, like, issue. What language is TechCom? It's a mix of the two of them, but I think over time it's becoming more and more Mandarin. Abi understands it quite well, but he doesn't speak it very well. Eating a lot of food in one go. To be fair, last night I ate half a pack of digestives, so I mean it's still kind of bad. No, that's fine. I mean, we barely know as well. There are some like clips and stuff where they show comms and stuff at the end of a map win.
是的，但是同样的要从这个烟雾要去推你的视线卡位，只点掉第一个。旁边有个顺闪，但对方赛博小龙，赛博小龙能够规避你的身位和枪位。
This was a lower buy for Tech. Well, like a buy next, because they have stuff like a Guardian and stuff. But you could tell from their money that they're like saving just enough that they have a full buy for the next round. BLG actually giving a lot of respect here. It's a 4 versus 1. They haven't even planted yet. No need to rush anything.
为了确保自己手上的长枪不会过多的掉落，让对方捡到长枪有机会翻盘，所以现在
BLG slowly clearing up. I mean, I guess they might be seen as like we're in a 4 versus 1. They're on a low buy. Let's like practice actively clearing this and scaling this properly.
对，把能量球控了下来，然后自己把这把长枪保下来就好。但得看 BLG 会不会给你机会 ，BLG 很有可能还会来找。
It's snack for tea, yeah. Especially when you have a cup of tea, they can just go down fairly crazy. Funny how ADHD brains congregate onto certain hobbies and communities, yeah. And just like how many traits, I suppose, of both of them that people have. That you don't realize are like neurodivergent things.
算是一个比较完美的进攻，但是现在目前4比1的比分，体坛很有可能会选择叫出暂停。
他开始是已经停过一次，然后这分因为他没有，就是他没有多少的一个经济可以。
At least Dabo saved a rifle, so it keeps makes their money a little bit better. But yeah, you give a YZ an attack up. That's one of the things that he was doing against all gamers. It was actually kind of going well. So, good luck. It is tricky though, like when you have duelists attack op in and then you have to try and actually execute. Like one of the teams that was doing a lot of that like last year more than anything was Tech, not Tech, FPX. Where Autumn would be attack hopping and then he'd give the op to like Berlin, swap it for a rifle and then execute on a site. Sky flash to see if there's anything over on A showers. There isn't. Don't think that would have been heard with how far away they are. But I mean, we were watching YC's POV. We heard the TP go off.
所以旁边也是站了一个 Louis， 随时准备打眩晕光波。听到跳开的声音了，王浩哲推加的高点位有没有跳？皮林来了。
Anybody in a position to break it? They are. And now the brim is stuck. YZ was considering like just pushing past his smoke to see if they could like catch anybody else out. But all this is realistically done. It's wasted 2 smokes for Kwai, which is a major one. But also it's wasted so much time for BLG. They've got all of this for free. They're not competing for it because the only thing that they did was Sky Flash. So Tech, I feel like they're kind of being like baited out into not taking any space. Orbital Strike and Seekers come in. Showstopper's going to slow this down even more, so it's like a 30-second execute. Showstopper thrown in. Good bait actually from K-Knight. He smokes this off, and I think that they're like, oh, well maybe the Cypher's going to push up close. 3 ultimates used, and Abo isn't cleared in lamps. He gets 2. This might be a rough round for BLG because they use 3 ultimates on an execute and they don't even get to plant. They get 1 kill. Yeah, Cloves, actually, for China, we don't know. I know that they're behind on some patches, but I'm pretty sure that Clove is available for them to play. It's just that nobody will play him. Do they seem undertuned or something? I think it is more like the controller role seems very set at the moment. Like if you think of what's competing, like you might have Omen for Brimstone on this map, but that's because like the mollies and the execution utility, the stuff that Brimstone provides is really good for Bind. Not really anywhere else, at least in these maps. And if you want to run something really different, you can run like Harbor. Clove is like too... It's the Astra problem, right? Like, you can run Astra instead of Omen, but Omen is just a like better utility and better stuff to work with. With any like agent comp change like that, it's less about what you gain from playing Clove and having their utility to work with, and more about what you lose. Like I know Gecko's super strong at the moment for initiators, but it is a really competitive market for them. Even like Sentinels for the most part, like Killjoy and Cypher seem to have some good balance there. All the smoke's dropping, putting the op on an aggressive angle. Is there any flashes to work with? Well, there's a Dizzy. Hopefully somebody's in a position to break it, otherwise it's going to hit Wisey right in the face. It hits Wisey right in the face. He pushes out into the operator for RB, so that's fun. And then AC clears up the rest of them. Oh my god. Levy is almost winning a 1 versus 4 just from nothing. Again. Nice try, but it's these post plants from BLG don't look that inspiring today. Oh my god, never mind. I thought Wisey like walked out into the open and got killed, but RB actually just demolishes him. How does he hit that shot of all of them? Well, timeout's good. Timing. Viper shooting the first guy, swinging and kills the second. Yeah, it's not the best position to have 2 people like double peek out on, I don't think. So far though, usually I like write down ideas. I know why I've not been. Also, my other ADHD tip is find something to fidget with. Careful. Not out of context. I mean like a pen or something. Like I have a ring that I can spin as well, which is a little bit like... Like pretty good. But I've noticed that like if I have a pen in my hand, I'm just much more like focused. Has it been any good rounds? Like how we see on the waist. I need to learn like some of these like pen tricks. Stim Beacon for the Boombot and the Trailblazer to clear all of this stuff up. The Mosh is really good because a flash is used, so that's what, you know. Dizzy hits a lot. Again, it's stalling, it's allowing rotations to come in, but it's not stopping BLG. Wingman's thrown out to stall, which I really like. Abby's just going to get another shot straight through, isn't he? 4 versus 3 though. There's a Seekers to go for this retake. And Yosemite just finds a really good timing there. I guess they just weren't expecting... I don't know, like Tech kind of got stuck here. And then you Seekers from here. And Yosemite's like, alright, I'm going to try and take this space. I do like the BLG on the B side, though, is like not letting up, just being aggressive in the face. I don't have a lower body, yeah, I just hover in the air. I know there's one, I think actually Sliggy might have taught me it. For Wingman, when you're playing from elbow, there's like a lineup that you can do that... When we have this, you do it from here, like if you're smoked off, you can wingman out here, and if it doesn't hit anybody, it comes straight back to you. And it's just really good at, like, if they try to come in, like, the wingman stun is, you know, very underrated. It's just as long as a breach stun, I think. Wait, did Bianc just get one through the smoke? He just caught Kawaii. And Abo's like fairly low HP too. Block M also dies, just fighting for the smoke. Alright, BLG just, yeah, farming through him. Hey Kuma. Is buying attack or defensive sided? I think it's fairly 50-50 right now. The way that I've always explained it, and I don't know how accurate this is, this feels again like anecdotally, I think the bind is defensive sided up until the spike is planted. When it switches, like obviously when you plant the spike, the advantage does go to the attackers, like a good amount of percentage. But I think B site on bind is one of the hardest sites to retake on statistically. Yeah, very much depends on the comp, and it depends on like how you want to play. Like if you're a team that's really good on like executing and getting the plant down, if you're playing Gecko, you have a bit more of like freedom to do that. You might be playing like Harbor, right? So you have a Cove to help you plan. Like attacking side, you're gonna have a lot more advantage there.
经典的用身位控制瞄准，把 Elbow 这个人收掉了，是最大的伏笔。但这一分的 BLG 手里面有4个终极技能，这4个终极技能要考虑往 A 打。
Like at this point, you'd say that like BLG's comp on attack wouldn't be as good as TEC's.
一定会创造不一样的收益。
对。而 BLG 选择性稳健，在前点加默认，然后再一波。
But also TEC's comp might not be as good as defense as BLG's.
然后再打闪。
So I guess it's like split, where you. Like, Split is defensive-sided still, but the comps that you play try to push the attack-defense-sidedness to as close to 50-50 as you can get. But you might have some teams running, like, Deadlock and stuff on Split, because you want to... Like, the map is naturally defensive-sided, so you're going to try and make it as defensive-sided as possible. But most teams are running, like, double duelists to try and make a defensive-sided map more attack-sided. That's why Split, statistically now, is more attack-sided than defense-sided. Not to do with the map, it's just the comps and the way that people are playing. These post plants, at least from BLG, since the timeout, post plants have been so much better. Maybe it's like, why is he not playing attack op? It's just provided. Just as I was saying, this still is fine. Like round 10, you've got an orbital strike if you want to hold on to it. It's used on defense for one. So TEC are going for this. And there's no room to save. I don't know if going for the 2 versus 3 there with the orbital strike is that good. Because it means you don't really have a buy next. You've got round 11, where if you save, you have 2 guns and then like a buy next. So you might have some guardians and stuff. You'd have the orbital strike. And then you'd have a full buy for round 12. I think they were like, oh, we got a kill, and it's like, but you're still a player down, and so much time was wasted. And you have an orbital strike, like they're set up. I think going for that is a little bit silly. And then also, like, showstoppering, I don't know. If you'd saved the 2 guns, saved the orbital strike, you'd have 2 rifles, some stingers, a showstopper to work with. You've got more to do with this round. But I think TEC have like kind of like botched it here.
但是他的枪械不支持了。
你终极技能已经结束了，你要再打反击太难了。
并且标记应该是小 K 和王浩哲说了一下 A 场没人，我们可以从浴室这里过来。
Nice read from BLG. That too, yeah.
来到了前点，现在可以配合队友从浴室出。
If TEC just committed to RB on carry equals win.
他要等。
Yeah, but I think that when you do spread him around onto various roles constantly, I think you're really shutting down how good he can be. Like, you won't put Vukashu onto like duelist and then flex and stuff like that, and you won't put Stu onto sentinel either. All right, YZ's like, YZ's back. I think that's fair to say. Like, YZ is now looking as good as he did at Champions, which I didn't think I was going to see again.
切菲洛克跟卡威两个人两把阵营怎么回防呢？两个人抱团得去下枪了，想想办法。但是现在对于 BLG 来说，经济足够有优势。
黄申现在
I'm a big fan of pistols and full util buys.
加一下自己这个残局的胜率，但是他好像是漏了枪管。
对，王浩哲明觉还有点。
He's been back for a while. Yeah, this stage especially, yeah.
枪管露出来了，王浩哲。
The kickoff, not really. For evolution, definitely not.
哇，那这样打下去8比3。
Because, you know, like, obviously we saw champs, we saw Billy beating NRG a couple of times. Like, YZ was doing a lot of the, like, judge TikTok play, you know, like this, right? But remember, when we got into Evo, he wasn't even really close to playing the same way. So this stage has been really good for him. And this map has been really good for him and BLG, actually. Good mental reset. Yank's 10 and 5, so that's so much better. Like, Levius is 10 and 4.
有些时候你的这个思路压制对手之后，确实对手解不了你这个套，你就可以一直拿分。AC 交技能交得非常快。
Evo was so fun. I mean, it's one of the reasons why I'm like heavily dedicated to watching China. Like, you know, like I'm from Europe. I did EMEA. But as much like I think EMEA, Americas, Pacific, all better regions. But I think that China is only going to get better because like China in any esport, in any sport, naturally catches up to be one of the top teams within it. But it is just a lot of fucking fun to watch too. You get some silly Valorant rounds. You get a lot of clear examples of stuff going wrong, whereas somebody that has like some coaching experience but not an awful lot. Like, I liked working in Game Changers because it's like, if I tried to work on a tier 1 team, there's a lot of nuance and stuff that I don't necessarily have too much experience in exploring with teams. But with something like Game Changers, you can either take what's good with you and build around that, or you can try and do what everybody else is doing and learn how the game is being played. And it's similar to China to an extent. Like, they're learning and I'm learning along with them. Okay, TEC are actually... This was another really good execute from BLG on A. The satchel is a little bit wonky. And now he's stuck in this corner. I don't know how TEC won that.
两个步枪的回防打得非常好啊，远近都有架到，而且王浩哲的这个他的这个炸弹条失误了，是的，他炸弹条卡到箱子上了。
2v4 retake, and both of them just coming through behind him. What is this? Look, we just got like a Jim from The Office stare at the camera.
应该是完全能打过的，但是这一分，首先第一是枪法发挥，然后第二是这狙出了一些小问题，卡在这个很奇怪的位置。啊，他主要是被子弹减速了。
Because like this execute again was great, but this was not.
再来，你这个换弹的 timing 刚好也被 Locam 抓到。
是的，王浩哲刚才那个身位明显就是吃到了伤害。
Yeah, I think YZ like kind of screwed up the satchel.
地起掉，撞墙了。
Do you agree that all agents except ISO are pretty much balanced and can be different and picked in different situations? So Riot should stop changing agents and start changing the maps majority.
球球发一把皮肤。
Agent balance is never a perfect thing.
很明显啊，球球来一个紫雀金狼。
Whether agents might be balanced in pro scene, they might not necessarily be that balanced in ranked. So it's always a tricky thing to work with. You balance based on new agents being added in. I do think that like maps could do with maps could definitely do with more changes now at this point. But I think if you change maps, then naturally that affects agent balance more. So
因为下半场首枪局真的有些时候决定了整个下半场的走向。
Yeah, agent balance is pretty good. The only thing is just like Viper, what they want to do about her. Are they going to add competition in that role of a team? Are they going to... I think it's got to a point where I think you need to rework Viper. Like, you need to give her like the Euro treatment, I think. Viper and Gecko are not balanced. I think, yeah, Viper just, like, the way that she is not balanced. You could just give her a Viper wall, and she'd still be a very strong, very commonly picked agent. Gecko, yeah, I think Gecko is I don't think Gecko is, like, broken. I think they're just overtuned. Like, I think you can change so much about how the agent works, where you can nerf them slightly without it just killing how they play. For example, it used to be 2 seconds was the time to pick up a Dizzy or a Thrash. They reduced that to 1 second. I think you can revert that back up. Or make it 1.5. So, you know, you can like increase the time before you can use a Dizzy again after picking it up. You can increase the cost of Thrash as an ultimate. I think 7 ult cost is way too cheap considering that the agent can farm up orbs like nobody's business. I have a theory of how to rework Viper, like how to nerf her. So I can run that by you in a break. Right now, it's attacking pistol for TEC, BLG, defending, and a plants down. This is going to happen a lot with a Gecko. So I hope your retakes are good, because the pistol hasn't gone well. It's been completely flawless. I think losing that last round could really bite BLG in the backside here. Like 8-4 as a scoreline seems pretty large, but you know, if a pistol's won here, it was flawless. Anti-eco next could be flawless. Bonus is already worked out for TEC, and at that point they just ran away with the map, didn't they? With Sunset. It doesn't make sense that Gecko can farm orbs from kills while this ultimate is in play, unlike other agents. That is also very true. That definitely feels like it's an oversight. Like, if you use thrashing around, you can't pick up orbs like until it's used twice.
然后马上就是一个王浩哲吃球，现在有一套这个战术，就是吃完球做传送门，然后再把 A 大那个吃了，然后找个地方5个人抱团。
The orbs reset if you pick it up though. That's what I mean. It's kind of like when it's in play, you can't. Oh, you can, but you can obviously pick up orbs. How would you even? That's a very interesting thing for Riot to fix. Actually, I haven't even thought about that. Like, how do you stop Gecko from picking up orbs? I guess it just say that his ultimate is like in use. In the same way that a Tour de Force and a Bladestone would be. Not being able to pick it up again is probably a good nerf. I think if you do that though, you have to I think you have to buff it somewhere else. Like the duration of it or something. Oh, I see what you mean. Like, yeah. But it's weird because you'd want it to be safe. Let's say like you're a killjoy, use a lockdown, you detain 3 people and you get 3 kills. That should be 3 ult obs towards your next ult, right?
两分的差距就看能不能拿下 BLG 的一个长枪局，但是 BLG 现在5把长枪的情况之下，他们知道对方肯定是要抱团的。 I
know that you give it more HP, that'll be more frustrating, but like make it faster, increase the duration. Alright, good. Anti-bonus so far. RB though. I swear, every time I've been like, it's RB, this is the thing that he does, this is where he goes crazy. Nothing happens. Yeah, see? Every time I'm like, oh, maybe. No.
这一分刚好，因为打到了一个算是比较重手的半区，因为你要跳下来，你要吃这，你要吃
make it last longer.
而且点内是有很多人在打交叉枪线的。
但不得不说，这波长冲点。
I think literally you just, make it so you can only use it once, but you just turn it into a roided version of a Trailblazer. Cast care supplies even went off the desk. But I'm sure to an extent for teams, it is very like, alright, this is what you can... Like, this is how we can, like, anti-strat against RB. This is how we can, like, make sure that he doesn't have as much impact anymore. But, like, in those kind of rounds, I don't know. Is it just the mental side of, like, okay, it's RB. Like, we peak this perfectly, or we lose. It's already roided Trailblazer. Yeah, but just, like, increasing the speed, like, a faster Trailblazer, a longer Trailblazer.
主要是现在最大的一个问题就是在于体坛他们 目前感觉想要去骗对方的技能，但 BLG 基本上不会给你放太多的技能去拖延。
I think overall, Riot do balance the game pretty well. I come from Overwatch, where we would have metas lasting like 2 days. I remember the Season 3 Bastion. Just horrible. But I think Riot's balancing is a little bit more like sensible. The only time that we've had like big reverts, I suppose, happen was like Ares. That's the only time that things got really out of hand. But I think they've nailed like what makes Gecko a fun agent to use. Oh my god. Why would AC go for that kind of peak? That's beyond me. It's RB again. Can he do it? I don't know why I'm doing like a fucking Draenei like casting thing from World of Warcraft. But there's what. Maybe I need to keep doing it. Maybe that's it. That's the secret. Oh my god, the timing. He's got half. Oh, and he gets... Yeah, it's just all out. Finally, RB.
这分12 ，RB 只有12滴血，但是他这个位置，其实说实话，1v1胜率不高，但同样的。
Riot is so much better at identifying issues with overpowered agents than Blizzard. Yeah. I think also like Blizzard's like MO was to make every character feel overpowered. I think Riot, because it's an attack shoot, it's more sensible. Like everybody uses the same guns, has the same amount of health, same like size and stuff. But I think for Riot, it's generally like they have their like agent identity. Pardon me. When you're playing a Gecko, it feels different to playing a Sky. And it's like the power fantasy of it. And I think for Riot, that side is good. I think the more, like, it's even stuff like ISO. ISO isn't that, like, great, but it feels great to play ISO when it's going well. But I trust that Riot would be able to, like, change Viper, but still make Viper feel like Viper. That the things that make people fall in love with this agent, outside of, you know, the spandex and the mummy attitude, I suppose, that people love about Viper. Like, that you can still have stuff like a Viper wall and fuel to work around. Anyway, from mummy to daddy, RB is like stomping now with a 2k. And the score is near enough even.
被体坛摩恩拿下这分，差一点出现了一些失误，差一点被 BLG 翻了回来，还好体坛最后是有人站了出来，稳固住了他们自己枪械上的优势。
You think Riot will rework agents like they do in Champs in League of Legends? Probably. I mean, we just don't have a lot of agents in the game. We've already seen it with Yoru, and I think looking to how bad Euro used to be, the fact that he's not only a good agent in his meta, but isn't like super OP, like he's an option in the pro scene. That's amazing. Like that's so hard to do, especially for duelists. So I have no doubt that like, I think Deadlock as an agent like needs more time to warm up to her. Personally, there's a lot of stuff about her kit that I don't like. But I think that there's like, I don't know, I feel like Deadlock's like identity is a little bit more awkward.
这讲道理，一个一个过来找文浩哲，单挑文浩哲真的是不怕你的，你根本没有补枪，就是想要因为被踩雷飞剑阻断了一下身位嘛。
6% win rate. Yeah, I'd expect that you would. But I'm curious how you describe it, Saint, because it's like, I think like her wall is great. Her sound sensors, I think like in post plants are amazing bits of utility. But I think that there's too many, like her net now is great. Her ultimate, I can't stand. I don't think it's fun to play with. I don't think it's fun to play against. I also just, I think it's more the sound. When you are cocooned and somebody's shooting it, I don't know if it's the same for anybody else. Whether it's like just a divergence thing for me or just... But like the sound it makes when you're in the cocoon and somebody's shooting it is horrible. Like it's so tinny, it's so high fidelity. It genuinely hurts my ears. The sound of it being shot is the worst. I'm surprised that they haven't fixed that. Maybe it's because the people don't really play it, so they don't know. Yeah, the more that I think about it with Thrash, like, if it can be just used once, but you can actually, like, travel further with it, I think that would be cool, because it feels more like an initiating tool than a just annoying thing that you have to keep worrying about. I'm quite surprised that not many people are playing or trying Deadlock on Sunset, like B main stuff especially. Who do you think is the best duelist now in China? Behave? Is that how you're saying it? Behave? Or just generally? Because I'm a big Feng Feng fan. I'm a Feng fan. Life is just unbelievably good right now for FPX. And then obviously like Hong Kong's playing well. Like, you have like some really good choices overall. Stu is amazing when Stu's playing well, but like there's a lot going wrong for JDG. We could be here all day. How is China Tier 2? Can you explain? Not right now. I can show you my little like note I have explaining it all, but I'll do that in like the break. The TLDR is there's a big tournament happening in like June, July called the China National Competition, which you could abbreviate to CNC, which I don't think is wise to do, so don't do that. And like basically teams earn points, and whoever has the most points would make ascension for China. So it's kind of like EVO but smaller. Instead of EVO being like 3 events, this China National, even said China National feels like it's... He blocked it! He's blocked it! Oh, is he gonna get it? Oh my god. What a hero.
哇，这真的就是用头球把对方的燃烧榴弹顶了回去。
现在大家都懂了，这个燃烧榴弹较劲投掷都是从小道来的。那小道
What's wrong with it? Just like it's a term. It's a kink term. I'm not explaining it, I'm just saying that. Sliggy's gonna watch back these VODs and he's gonna be like, Ryan, what the fuck are you saying? Can you stop?
那个白色的圈就是你拆包的范围。
3分的差距 ，BLG 差1分拿下点，因为体坛上1分其实有机会拿下的，但
Maybe I'm too into engineering. Yeah, it's not an engineering term.
这1分的 BLG 手上还有晚焰火，体坛是完全陷入到了经济的僵局，手里面只有飞将加海灵，其他人全是正义。
What does CNC machining stand for?
创造出优势，侧身位又要被抓，阿博跳得很快，倒得也很快。
对他这场虽然玩的是盖克，但是和杰锋一样，他冲在了最前点。其实就想收集下信息，因为知道
cutting, okay.
看能不能找一个机会跳下来抓人。而现在浴室的位置其实也差不多快被发现了，因为有一个摄像头的，摄像头被打掉，那说明他已经开起来看到。
Milling, etc. To be fair, the term milling sounds like it could be somewhat inappropriate too.
舌吻不好过，
而且 B 2楼已经摸了 ，B 2楼和 B 长是一起同步摸了出来。 马上就可以找一个侧身，
首先要被抓，
没枪是吧
Why is he just flanked all the way around?
哎，但是
Actually, yeah, really good play again. I mean, they had the buy here, but just the comfort for BLG to just flank all the way around and just attack them.
地图的盘点 ，BLG 有机会把大比分追到1比1平。那这样的话，双方会进入到第3张地图森汉东港。
Yes, Sliggy watching this.
刚好看到一个绿脑壳。
Oh no, don't, because it's just somebody's gonna like the EMEA stream. Somebody's gonna go into Sliggy and be like, Sliggy, what does CNC stand for? And he's gonna be like, what? Don't do that, please don't do that.
OK， 12比8，4个赛点，手上的晚焰火王后者一直没有机会去释放，并且我们可以看到，如果他只要完成击杀
Yeah, so like there's no like challenges thing for China this year. I don't know if there's gonna be for next year. But there's like qualifiers going through like streaming services like Bilibili as a tournament, Douyu as a tournament, Ouya as a tournament.
骗一骗。而 A 区来说的话 ，A 区是一个半
And
线，
yeah,
然后再加一个
it's
小道，往后折
it's tricky to follow it all.
打全
But it's cool because you have teams going for like open qualifiers like Rare Atom, like they went for like the Bilibili qualifiers and then played an event there. But also collegiate goes into it too.
被摘了。
本源点由 CMT 主动踩 B 2楼近点，先把 RB 点掉，远距离还在跟你完成对掐。由 CMT 残血的血量让队友给一口余生之息，可以把血量抬起来。那这样的话，4打3的局势之下。
Yeah, there's like a point system, but generally it's going to work out as like the top 8 teams at that China national event is going to. Yeah, I mean the fact that the Viper's Pit is on the spike now.
短炮看到，
一接接出来 AC， 4打2
，4打2。 而且在晃身看到了 Levius 打到对手，直接召唤追猎之灵，再跑神经取袭，究极精准。
China's a collegiate system, kinda.
感觉要结束了，因为6Cam 只有32滴血，就要完成1打4太难了。
I'm pretty sure some teams qualify for being a good business partner. Like that's what I mean. It's very convoluted. But any attempts of me trying to learn it is like, oh, to get more information out is challenging to say the least. All right, 13-8. Honestly, looking so much better. I think Levius had a good performance. Bianc on the Brimstone looked good. So now it's to Icebox, right? Which is a decent map for BLG in comparison. TEC, you get 2 amazing maps to work with here, and you might have missed out on the opportunity. It wouldn't be Bilibili if it wasn't complicated. I think it maybe is that Bianc wants to call on controller mod and initiator, because I think it's a little bit easier.